Our story starts in the 1950s, a city center of low-slung buildings. The city council and some big business looking to relocate in search of bigger office space. In the 1960s, changing municipal bylaws meant big buildings were permitted. A massive office tower building boom began, but it all became too much too soon. By the 1970s, the development boom had become a bursting bubble. Fast, decentralized development made it harder for the city to maintain its pace. Urban management faltered. Inner city decline slowly began. During the 1980s, the declining city center was abandoned by key retailers and professional sectors. Deterioration set in. Through the 90s, the exodus continued. The vacuum filled by slumlords, peddlers and vagrants. Safety and the rule of law were fading fast. By the new millennium, the condition was dire. Drastic intensive care was needed. The signing of the Inner City Charter meant dynamic public-private partnerships were fostered. Plans were put in place and carried through by all involved, and where near anarchy ruled, a vibrant 24-hour city has quickly risen. But it's no mystery, there's still much to be done. Syndicates are still running large parts of South Africa's premier city, taking over private and government-owned buildings alike and forcing poor, defenseless residents to pay for their crimes. Even in this tough economic climate, old buildings are torn down to make way for the best of modern architecture. Yet, Johannesburg is a city plagued by poor spatial planning and it's frozen in time. Additionally, the city of Johannesburg has to deal with a rapidly increasing population. About 3,000 people arrive in Johannesburg every month, seeking the gold on the streets. Part of the solution meant entering into a coalition in order to steadily effect change in this city. For the love of Johannesburg and its people, we found common ground and managed to put the interests of our people first. In September 2017, the City Council approved the Inner City Plan, a long-term development plan that seeks to address spatial, social, and economic inclusion in our city, a program that facilitates people residing, working, and enjoying life in the city. The City of Johannesburg's Inner City Revitalization Project is a multi-targeted initiative, incorporating initiatives and targeted strategies to facilitate revitalization of the inner city. Pivotal to unleashing Joburg's economic potential, a blueprint was developed. Johannesburg's skyline is going to be characterized by cranes as the city turns into a construction site. The city will provide partnership opportunities to business people and investors to join the city in construction and allied industry opportunities. These partnerships will see that the city's residents benefit from these relationships. The city has identified properties that will be converted into affordable low-cost housing for our residents and affordable commercial spaces for the benefit of small businesses, entrepreneurs and investors. In terms of affordable low-cost housing, we are targeting rentals that fall within the 800 to 1,000 Rand per month range. Some might say this target is ambitious, others say they believe in it. Maboneng has just been named one of the coolest neighborhoods in the world by Forbes magazine, beating out well-known neighborhoods such as Manhattan in New York and London's fashionable Soho district to be included on the list of just 12. Now, more than ever, there is good, responsible business to be done in the affordable, low-cost housing sector. We are proud to announce that Council has approved an offer of additional properties to the private sector to be renovated for purposes of being turned into low-cost housing, student accommodation, as well as space for small businesses. We have set aside a budget of 50 million Rand to market this exciting project. In turn, we will attract investment of between 16 billion Rand and 20 billion Rand that will flow into supporting these 71 buildings. The city is sensitive to the fact that skills development, employment and SMME development must happen to address the unemployment that faces many of its residents. Through creating this urban construction site, the city will create 5,000 temporary jobs during the construction phase through the land released to the developers. In this way, we get to build an inclusive city and push back the frontier of lawlessness and criminality that plagues many of our neighborhoods throughout Johannesburg. Our efforts to take back our inner city from building hijacking syndicates, drug dealers and other criminal misfits are coming of age. Mayor Herman Mashaba's administration will put an emphasis on the need to restore the rule of law in the inner city and the rest of the city broadly. As we speak, plans are underway to expropriate derelict buildings in the inner city and make them available for development. Even more pleasing is that the city and its ratepayers will not be burdened with the cost of purchasing any of these buildings. While hijacked buildings have been nothing but a liability for the safety and health of our people in the inner city, as well as a financial drain on the municipality, their successful conversion will turn them into an asset. More than 130 years after the birth of Johannesburg as a result of the gold rush, a second gold rush in our city is about to begin. We see an inner city of high-rise buildings with the lights, sounds and smells of a vibrant, diverse heartbeat of our city. We see a place where the hijacked and bad buildings have been converted into affordable, low-cost affordable housing for our people. We see a place where small businesses and young professionals can come here to set up and not be priced out of the more luxurious parts of our city. We see a place of restaurants, bars, theaters and bright lights that attract people from all over the country and the world to come and visit. We see a place where people can walk safely through the streets because the criminals have decided it would be easier to operate elsewhere than in our city. We see a place where the streets and pavements are clean, its infrastructure works reliably, and its public spaces are well maintained. We see our inner city for what it will be, and not just for what it has been. It means our part is to accept the role of laying down the foundation of getting the city working. A focus on achieving the basics that no government before has bothered to focus on. This means that there will be less potholes, more houses, more informal settlements with services, and the city will look fundamentally different. It will not be immediate, but we can work together to set the city upon the right direction for the first time. In doing so, we can work together to build a city that works, a city where government achieves the conditions for people to prosper, a city of golden opportunities. We can't do this alone. You have the expertise and knowledge to achieve feats in our inner city that we in government do not. You have been waiting for the right signal of intent from government. We are giving you that signal today.